faster typing doesn't come just by typing. It needs to be a deliberate practice. And as a result, I was using computers my whole life, almost 20 years, from when I was 5 years old. But I was typing at the speed of an average person. I've doubled my typing speed from 40 words per minute to 90+ words per minute. The most skilled typists are typing at the speed of 150+. But that's not easy. After 40 hours of practice, you can achieve 100 words per minute, but that can save you 10 hours a week. And that's even if you're not typing much. For programming, writing, or prompting AI, or doing whatever, just shitposting on Twitter, the typing speed is crucial. I even saw one startup requiring 100 words per minute of typing speed as a job requirement. Plus, typing at the speed of your thought makes you a lot more creative. You can capture ideas as fast as they come, and there is nothing more frustrating than losing an incredible idea.
Then you want to blow your brains out.
Any creative person will agree with me. So I'm going to share the tips that help me to improve my typing speed. And first you need to know the home row finger placement, because same finger should be pressing the same key. That way you can develop your muscle memory, because the less your hands have to travel the keyboard, the faster you will type. Each keyboard was designed deliberately with these bumps. Your index fingers should be resting on where the bumps are. At first, if you haven't used the home row placement, you will probably drop your typing speed, because you will need to relearn how to use the keyboard, but you will type a lot faster later. Just give yourself maybe 10 hours to readjust. The second tip, don't look at your keyboard at all. Maybe if you make some mistake when you're typing a password and you have one attempt left. That's the only instance you should be looking at the keyboard. Even if you don't have a feel yet where each key is located, you still never should be looking at the keyboard, because it slows you down significantly. And for me, the hardest part were the numbers, because it's just a straight row without any bumps. But now I'm used to every key on the keyboard. That's not that hard. The third tip is to keep your hands warm, and that may be your bottleneck when it comes to typing speed. When my hands are cold, and it's cold in Kazakhstan here, especially in the winter, I'm just typing maybe 30% slower. So if your hands are cold, you can just wash them in warm water. You can also take magnesium. Sometimes the cold hands are the sign of magnesium deficiency. The next tip is to learn shortcuts on your keyboard. That is crucial, because you should be using your keyboard a lot more than your mouse. And for every piece of software there are a lot of shortcuts that will improve the speed of using the software. That's why they call shortcuts. And the more you use the keyboard, the better you're becoming at typing. But when it comes to typing, the best shortcuts are probably the backspace shortcuts. So you can use Option on Mac or Alt on Windows plus backspace, and that deletes the whole word. Instead of wasting time pressing your backspace several times, you can just press 2 buttons and the whole word disappears. You can rewrite it again. You can also delete the whole line, or jump straight to the end of your sentence, or jump straight at the beginning of your sentence. That will significantly improve your typing speed, because every mistake you make is kind of costly when it comes to speed. So how much you should be practicing? I'd say about 20 minutes per day. That will be enough. You can practice on every typing website that are deliberately designed to improve your typing speed. But my favorite ones are Keyboard and MonkeyType. If you never did this, first you need to assess your typing speed. So just complete a 30-second test. And especially if you're a beginner, you should start with Keyboard, because it highlights your weak points. For example, you're inconsistent with O key. You're making a lot of mistakes there, and the program will highlight it. And you should improve your weak points. For example, if your accuracy is low, and that means if you have lower than 95% of accuracy, you should focus on accuracy first, because every mistake is costly. And the same thing, if you have some inconsistencies with the same keys, you're just making mistake after mistake on the same key. You should practice switching from this key to another key, or typing more words with this key. And Keyboard helps you with that, because it highlights your mistakes. And after you've mastered the home row, after you expanded the roster of keys on the keyboard, for example, because not every key is available as you start, you can now type your own texts. And that way, you're not only improving your typing speed, but you're also learning something new. And that's the feature I use the most. For example, I type Peter Thiel's lectures on startups. You can just type it as an exercise, and at the same time you're reading it and consuming the information. Or you can even switch to a programming mode. For example, improve your speed of typing the code, and you will have exercises with the code. The next thing a lot of people discuss when it comes to typing speed is, what keyboard should you buy? but you shouldn't buy any. You should just stick with the keyboard you already have. Keep it simple. You don't need a fancy mechanical keyboard, for example. You can use membrane keyboard, doesn't matter. For example, why I use this keyboard? Because it's the same keyboard I have on my Mac computer. So I don't need to readjust when I use my Mac separately. And the same approach with the layouts. Some people change their keyboards from QWERTY to Dvorak or Comac. You don't need to do that. There is a Russian saying when it comes to these kind of situations, to a bad dancer, his balls are the obstacle. So the same way I look at the Dvorak people. Okay, that may improve your typing speed by 10 words per minute. But again, when you need to readjust to some other situation, when you need to use another keyboard, you need to readjust again. So just use the normal layout. Here you need to be a normie. Some people obsessively compare like mechanical keyboards different, cherry keys or something like that. You don't need to be using that if you need to improve your typing speed. The only thing that improves your typing speed is deliberate practice. A new keyboard won't do that. That's the same as saying if you buy an expensive pair of boxing gloves, you will become a master of sports or something like that. That doesn't happen like that. A few words about progression. I've been doing this for a couple of months and doubled my typing speed from 40 words per minute to 90 plus. And for the first 2 weeks, I was just readjusting to the home row placement. And that's okay, you need time to readjust. Then you will improve your typing speed. And the progress on the first couple of days is very fast. You're rapidly progressing until you hit a plateau. And the plateau for me was at 70 words per minute. I was practicing for a month and a half and I was just stuck there. But you just have to push through it and don't stop practicing. At first you're going to have 5 words per minute increase per day. Then maybe 5 words per minute per week. Then maybe 2 words per minute per week. Progression naturally slows down as with every skill. So to get from 40 words per minute to 80 words per minute is not that hard. But to get from 80 words per minute to 120 words per minute is a lot harder. That's what I'm trying to achieve right now. And after 2 months of training, my typing speed is improving maybe 2 words per minute per week. But I'm practicing like 10 minutes per day. So there is no secret really. You just need to practice more. You just need to persevere. But it's safe to say that about after 50 hours of practice, you should triple your typing speed if you were typing at the beginner typing speed. If you're typing at your work or your creative endeavors, whatever, for just 1 hour a day, this investment will pay off in 2 months. And there are not a lot of investments that pay off in 2 months. But if you're typing at least 3 hours per day, that investment pays off in 2 weeks. That's insane. And the scarcest, the most important resource we have is our time, because we have a limited amount of time until we die. So you won't find a better return on investment than just learning how to type faster. That's all I had for today. If you want to see my other video, click this video right now. See ya.